Welcome guys to another tutorial. So in this tutorial I'm gonna show you guys how to make transitions in Unity, and it's actually the way that I do. I think it's very easy to do, so you don't have actually an excuse to not do it on your game, because as I have right here as this example, a game that doesn't have any kind of a transition, it kind of feels odd when you change scenes. So because usually the animation that you have on your game is gonna be freeze for a moment and then you're gonna change the scene in an instant, so it feels kind of a little bit odd. So the function of transition is to have a little bit more smoothness in your game. Okay, so it gives a nice touch to the games, and you don't really have any kind of reason to not make it. All right, so the first what I have actually here, I just have one button in the menu that goes to the level, and again one button from the level that goes to the menu. And this menu actually uses this script right here that uses scene manager. So this function just load the scene to the level and load the scene to the menu. And just so you can use it, you need to use this line right here of codes, because you need to use scene management, and it's actually you need to make Unity use this so you can use the class. All right, so this is the script that I'm using right here. I have two buttons, and when I click to the button it goes to the level. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going actually to create two different game objects to each scene. I'm going to have one game object that is going to be responsible for the fade out, and another game object that is going to be responsible for the fade in. The fade out function is going to be activated when you click the button. The fade in function is going to be activated actually every time that you load the scene, so you don't have to activate it by using a script. Okay, it's going to be kind of like automatic. The fade out, you're gonna click on the menu to activate it. All right, so the first game object that I'm going to use, actually create here, it's going to be fade out. So I'm going to create a new game object, a 2D, actually not a 2D game object. Here on canvas is going to be UI to image. Okay, just because it's easier to handle this, and it's going to cover all the UI items as well. Here you have this white square that's used right here. I'm gonna call it fade out. All right, the fade out image, I'm gonna use this square, but you can use any kind of image that makes sense for you. I'm gonna just select the color that actually fit on the game, maybe this color here, or you can even maybe pick a darker one like here. I kind of thought it's cool, this one. Okay, so this fade out, I'm gonna use animation, all right, to create the fade out animation right here. I'm gonna just put right here fade out, and I'm gonna put menu, because then on the level I'm gonna use another kind of fade out animation there. So this fade out, this guy over here on the first scene, he's not gonna be in the view. Okay, so he's gonna be kind of a, you can kind of hide this one, maybe right here, I don't know. And I'm gonna just make a very simple one for this tutorial, but you can go crazy with it, and that's cool. I'm just gonna make it bigger, very big, the fade out, just so you can cover actually the whole scene. Okay, all right, and then maybe more kind of an angular to here. Okay, something like this. Okay, all right, so once you have the image that is gonna cover your whole scene, and it's important that you, in the end, on the last frame of the fade out, it covers all the scene, just because when you transition to the other scene you don't have any difference of image, so the player is actually not gonna notice, and that's why it gives you the feeling of being smooth in the game. Okay, so here I'm going to start recording. Just put the first keyframe right here, and then I'm gonna choose, it doesn't really matter the time for this one, you just need to choose the final one. Okay, because then you can change the keyframes to be faster or slower depending on what you want. All right, so what we have right here, it's this. Okay, I think that's cool. You can make it faster, you can make it slower, it's really your choice. Okay, just make the space between the keyframes bigger if you want to make it slower, or faster, just make it smaller. All right, one thing that is important, this animation right here that is fade out does not need, it can't be a loop time. Okay, it can only happen once. All right, another thing that is important, because right now what we have is the animation, okay? And if you play the game, the fade out is going to be activated and you're going to have this animation right here. So what we're going to do is disable the game object, okay? We're going to disable the game object, and then on the script that you have your scene that right here, go to level, I'm activating the level. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually change this function because I don't want to load the level. I'm gonna put another function right here that is gonna do the same thing as this does, so but it's just with another name. So it's gonna be load, it can be load level, okay? And this actively, it's going to load the level, right? Go to level, it's going to activate the fade out game object. So here, what I'm going to be having right here is a public game object, okay? And it's I'm gonna call it fade out, all right? And this fade out, actually, it's going to be set activated when you press the key on the menu. So when you press the key on the menu, the fade out game object is going to be activated, and as well as the animation. And then we're gonna load. Okay, let's check if it's working. Okay, I have an error. Yeah, doesn't exist. Sec activated. Sec active. Okay. All right, let's go. All right, so right here, what I have, it's when I play and I click, it's linked to the menu there. I didn't link let me take a look. Yeah, you need to link the fade out game object. Okay, right now you need to know which fade out is gonna set active. Okay, so when I press go to level, it goes with this fade out. And then on the animation of level manager of the fade out, right here, animation. And then right here on the last keyframe, I'm gonna add a animation event. This fade out is gonna use the same script that we had before. You can put on other script, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to use the same just to be faster, but you can put in another script. So we're going to use the same game object, the same script, and add a animation event. So right here, I'm going to add animation event. And then the function of this animation event, it's going to be load level. All right, so in the final of the animation, it's going to load the level. So load level right here. It needs to be public, by the way. Okay, the function. All right. So when we press play, we're gonna have this. Okay. Doesn't feel right now because our level does not have a fade in animation. That's what we're going to be doing next. So go to level, jump. Okay. Doesn't feel good yet, but I'm gonna fix this. So in the level, what we're going to be doing is actually the same thing, but right now this is not going to be a fade out, it's going to be a fade in. So here on the UI image, I'm going to rename it fade in. Okay, it needs to be the same color. All right, just you can't put any other color there. Just let me take a look. All right, okay. It needs to be the same color. Okay, and then right here, I'm gonna make a animation. All right, create another one. Animation, we are gonna have fade in. Level, in this case. Okay, and then the first frame of this animation is gonna be this image actually pretty big. Okay, I'm gonna rotate. I remember the direction of the animation previously. It was going up to left, and so I'm gonna do the opposite. Okay, actually I'm gonna continue with the same direction. So here I'm gonna just save with this. Right, and then after maybe half a second, I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, and then again we have this. All right, I just think maybe do a little bit more like this. Yeah, just need to be careful because it needs to cover all the scene all the time. Okay, just one thing that it needs to be careful about. Okay. Okay, anyway, very easy. And again, this is not going to be a loop menu. Okay, it can't be a loop menu. All right, so every time that I play the scene, it goes like this. And of course, after this, you can destroy the game object or do any other thing to free a little bit of memory. But okay, going back to the menu, what we have right now is this. Okay, so it gives you a better feeling. You can go crazy with this kind of stuff. Okay, it's pretty easy to do it, and you don't need to use square images. You can use a circle, you can use any other kind of image, and you can even go crazy and use more than one image. But the important part is that the last frame needs to be the same as the first frame of the other scene. Okay, so pretty much you can go crazy with it. I hope you guys like it. If you really like this channel and you want to support it, there is a link in the description to a Udemy course that I made. I think it's pretty good and pretty helpful, and if you want to help this channel somehow, please go check it out. Alright, so guys, thank you very much. See you on the next tutorial. Bye bye.